Let me start this before anything crazy happens. What's up, TKAST? How's it going? How was your day? How's life? Mine's going not so great because we did this podcast already and the camera has failed us twice now. So I'm praying that it's not going to fail me like 3 times in a row. Today I want to introduce you to my guest, Cheriel Brown. Cheriel, son of a brother. Cheriel Brown. Okay, cool. Well, we're gonna leave it. We're just gonna leave it. So we're hoping that the camera gives us some good luck and that this will be the best take ever. So Joy has lived in Landover she was born and raised in Landover.
My whole life.
Your whole life.
Yes.
So how's that been? How's Landover?
Well, it's getting crowded. Like we have the stadium there, which was built like when I was a teenager. Mm-hmm. And now they're building like some hospital.
Okay.
Over where the Capitol Center used to be. They're building a hospital over there. So the construction is going to be done like I think 2021. So I'm kind of not looking forward to that. But I live in a townhouse, and my townhouse was affordable when I bought it. Mm-hmm. And it's like walking distance from the metro. So
perfect.
I'm kind of like, I'm probably going to be here no matter how congested it gets.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how I feel about Tyson's Corner. Like now that the metro, it connects from DC to Tyson's, now Tyson's is just like a anthill of people. Like just people all over all the time. But anyways, so for those of you that don't know Joy, as well as I wouldn't know Joy, I just met you today, but Joy has been a member of Women in Film for nearly 15 years.
Yeah, like something like 13 to 15 years.
14 years?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, like I learned about it in college. I went to Howard University, and one of my professors, was a member. I think she was a member, or she was she knew about the organization, and so she mentioned it in class one day, and I was like, oh, okay, like she mentioned it in class, that's something I need to be a part of, because I've always been really super serious about my filmmaking, and I consider myself a screenwriter first, but I'm also a producer. Okay. I feel like sometimes you are a screenwriter and you kind of become a producer out of necessity.
Interesting.
But I did have a thought when I was 10. I started writing screenplays when I was 10. And I had seen Home Alone, and it was just an amazing experience because the movie theater was like packed, and it sold out theaters for like weeks and weeks and weeks. And I just felt like Macaulay Culkin looks like he's having so much fun. And I told my parents, I was like, I want to be an actress. Can I get an agent? Can you guys get me an agent? Oh. And they were like, no, we're not going to get you an agent. And I'm like, oh, okay. So here's a wrench in my plan. So what do I do now? Like my parents told me I can't get an agent. So I was like, I'll write the screenplay and I will make the movie myself and I'll star in the movie myself. And like Home Alone was distributed by 20th Century Fox. So for me, I was like, I'll make a movie and sell it to 20th Century Fox. Like somehow I just kind of knew that's how it worked, right? Okay. And like now 20th Century Fox has been bought by Disney. So that's definitely not going to happen. But, I've always kind of been into film and writing screenplays and producing and stuff like that. And my professor told me about, or asked the class about women in film and video. So I became a member when I got out of, I think I was still in college actually. Wow. So it might have been like a year or two over 14 years. Wow. Because I remember paying like the student fee. Yeah. Membership fee. Interesting. So I think I was actually still a student when I became a member of Women in Film and Video. Wow. Yeah.
That's incredible. So how do you think, the DC area has changed creatively since you've joined?
So I think that there are more filmmakers in the area, and then we've had a lot of filmmakers come to try to like different organizations. Like I live in Prince George's County, and there's an organization called Creative Edge, and it's a collaborative. And the goal for Creative Edge Collaborative is to bring more filmmakers together in Prince George's County, because there will be filmmakers living in Prince George's County and we don't know each other, So between Creative Edge and Women in Film and Video, I feel like I have a really good like handle on who the other filmmakers are in town, or I have access to them if I don't already know them. Okay. With Women in Film and Video, that's how I found the majority of my crew for my last short. Wow. I literally like took the listserv and individually sent an email. Like, I was looking for a cinematographer first.
Okay.
And so I took the listserv and I went through each person who was a cinematographer, and I sent them an individual email, and I'm like, look, I'm looking for a cinematographer. This is my project. This is what I hope to accomplish with the project. Are you interested? And then from there, people who were interested responded. Not everybody responded. That's okay. People who were interested responded. And then from there, I went and interviewed each person, and I found my cinematographer. And it's been like a great collaborative relationship with my cinematographer, my editor, my people that I found through Women in Film and Video.
Cool.
Like, they were all great. Like, I had a first assistant director on the short who was amazing. Catherine McGuire DeBose.
Okay.
Like, she was really good. And my cinematographer, because I'm thinking maybe I should give them shout outs,
Yeah, of course.
My cinematographer, Aaron Shirley.
Okay.
My editor, Ben Weinberg.
Okay.
I found them through Women in Film and Video and through Creative Edge. I found one of my producers, Talea Grimes, and I found one of my other producers through Women in Film and Video, Sherry Raddick Stroud.
Okay.
So like all the people that I found were like amazing people.
Yeah,
like I
that's
haven't
awesome.
had any problems
Wow.
with any of the people
Shout
that
out to Women in Film.
hired from any of just I feel like the universe always works in my favor as well. Like, I just have that saying that the universe always works in my favor.
Okay.
So all of the people who like I found through Women in Film and Video, I just feel like the universe leads me to good things. So
I think that guy's on my patio now.
yeah, the construction is getting a little loud.
Wow. So, you were talking about Women in Film and your crew. And
That's
so
for my short film, yeah.
Right, for your short
this
film.
was for my third short film, NOS.
anyways, okay.
Yeah.
And how long did it take you guys to produce? How long did it take you to produce it?
Producing it took a while.
Okay.
Because I was looking for the money.
Oh, got it.
So I got the idea in 2012.
It's so loud.
I got to, yeah.
I don't know what to do about
I got the idea in 2012. By the way, you guys, there's like construction going on. So,
There's
if you hear that, we can't help it.
I don't
Sorry.
know what to do about it.
So
it's gonna be a good, interesting.
yeah, but they can hear us. We got mics.
Yeah, they can hear us.
So it's all good.
Yeah,
It's all
I'm
good.
sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
It's okay. So I wrote the script in college. It was
wow.
it was one of my choices for my thesis project.
Okay.
But the problem was that part of the whole thing took place in like a hospital type setting, like a hospital type institution type setting.
Wow.
And I was like a senior in college. I had 18 credits. I was working part-time. I was like, I don't have time to find the location that this script needs. So I was like, I'll do it some other time.
Okay.
I did a different project for my short.
That's smart.
I did a short film called Figment for my thesis.
Okay.
You guys can see it on my YouTube channel at Cheriel Brown, and it's called Figment.
Okay.
If you can find it on YouTube and you can watch it there.
Cool.
But I did that for my senior thesis, and I stuck NOS in a box or something, and years later in 2012, after moving into my house, it was 2 years after I moved into my house, I went through a box or something and I found the script. And I was like, and it was so weird. Not weird because this is how the universe works, right?
Yeah.
Like, because right before that, I had told myself, okay, it's time to do another short.
Okay.
And soon after that, I found the script in my home office.
Wow.
So I was like, oh, this is my next project.
Meant to be.
Yep.
Wow, that's awesome.
So I found a lot of the people for the project. I found Catherine like right before we started shooting, but like Aaron and Ben, I had found them in 2012, and I had gotten them involved in a project, and I used to like get in touch with them and be like, hey, like it's been 6 months, I'm still gonna do it. I'm still gonna do it. And Talea, I met her in like 2012.
Okay.
As well, but we weren't like working together at that point. We had just kind of met, like and we had kept in touch.
Gotcha.
And with Talea, in 2000, I finally got the money like in 2016.
Okay.
And it wasn't all the money that I wanted, but it was enough to get it done.
Right.
So in 2017, I was talking to her and I'm like, hey, like, you do this kind of stuff. Do you want to be a part of the project? And she was like, sure. And she originally came on to like look for locations.
Okay.
But she was just amazing all around. So I just kind of was like, hey, do you want to be a producer? Because you're doing kind of like what a producer would do. So you know, like, and, you know, there was my team. Like, I don't know, like, I just always find the right people at the right time. And I just, like I said, I always have this motto that the universe works in my favor. And so far that's been the case.
That's awesome. So do you believe that it's important to keep the same people around for different projects?
I do. I because I feel like, you know, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you work well with people, I feel like that's special.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't always gel with everybody you work with.
Right.
You know, and I feel like if you can find people that you trust and that and like they know how you work,
mm-hmm.
you know, like that becomes something that becomes very valuable because it cuts down on time. Like everything becomes more efficient,
mm-hmm.
you know, and you know, when you find the people who are dependable, I feel like that's very valuable.
Yeah.
So you gotta like keep them around, you
Definitely.
know. And my whole idea and my whole goal is for as my career grows, everybody around me grows too. You know, I want awards for my people, like
mm-hmm.
my cinematographer. I want them to get an award. I want my editor to get an award. I want my producers to share in the joy of having like Best Picture or something like that with me. You know, like I feel like I want to help other people's careers while they help me with my career by working on my project.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so you call yourself a filmmaker.
Yes.
And you're a producer at heart.
Yeah.
And then a writer.
Screenwriter first.
Screenwriter first.
Yes, I'm always a writer first. Like,
okay, screenwriter first.
Yeah, because I feel like if I could only do one thing, if I had to pick,
mm-hmm.
and I had to give up everything else, I feel like I would pick writing.
Okay. And is that because you can write anywhere? Or is it just because you feel like you are able to share your art the best via art?
Yeah, I feel like there's specific things I want to say.
Okay.
I feel like there's a specific reason why I'm here
mm-hmm.
on this planet. There's certain things I want to communicate. And if I'm a producer, but I'm producing somebody else's script, that's what they want to say. You know, like, but if I wrote the script and the producer that produces it stays faithful to what the script is, then mm-hmm. I'm communicating what I'm trying to say.
Gotcha.
You know, like I am putting those ideas into the universe.
Gotcha.
I have three major focuses with my production company. And currently, I'm sorry, people, I'm not accepting any material right now because I have so many of my own projects that I'm just trying to figure out how we're going to get those done.
Seriously.
But with my, what I try to communicate through, maybe every script doesn't communicate this, all of these three things, but it's going to be one of them.
Okay.
So it's either going to be promoting racial harmony.
Okay.
So I love Shonda Rhimes because her TV shows always have diversity. Like they're people of all races working together and living together and friends with each other.
Cool.
That's going to be found in my scripts.
Okay.
I purposely sometimes make the characters different races because I'm trying to communicate that we should all get along. Mm-hmm. And my script is probably not going to be about that. My script is probably not about race, but there are people getting along of different races. And that's important for me to communicate.
Got it.
But at that point, that's where my power as a producer comes in.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, you can write a script and make them different races, and then somebody buys your script and they change all that. You know, and that's why I'm not really interested in selling my script to other people. You know, I want to do it myself. Mm-hmm. The second thing I want to communicate is individuality. I feel like whatever it is that makes you you, you should be free enough in the world to be able to be you and express yourself, as long as you're not hinging upon somebody else's rights.
Okay.
You know, as long as you're not hurting somebody else or taking away somebody else's freedom, you should be able to be free to express who you are. Okay. You know, and that could be from being gay or having a mental illness or whatever. Just be you. You know, the third thing I want to communicate is that I grew up in a religion that a lot of people don't understand. I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, and I left the religion when I was like 29.
Wow.
And there were things that like about all religions that I feel like people aren't aware of. I kind of feel like religion was created to kind of control the masses. Okay. And I just want people to look at religion and be like, look, just because my religion says this doesn't mean that that's what I have to believe, or that doesn't mean what I have to do, you know? And I want people to think for themselves, you know? Okay. And I'm not necessarily saying that religion is bad, because I feel like sometimes I feel like inside that it's bad, but maybe it's not, you know? And I like to just explore that. You know, my scripts explore that. You know, it doesn't really say bad or good, because life isn't really that black and white. Okay. You know, so I kind of like to explore how people are responding to religion.
Interesting.
And I have a couple of scripts that do that. Not every script communicates every purpose that I have.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that's what I was put here to do, to get those ideas out.
Cool. So you found your purpose.
Yeah, like I definitely, and it's funny because I think I just realized this year that there are other ways I could have done that. Like I could have been a lawyer, could have been a journalist, or whatever. But I chose to be a filmmaker, and I feel like that's the one that lights me up the most inside. I feel like that's the one that makes me feel the most passionate.
Okay. So filmmaking is what makes you the most passionate.
Yeah.
And through filmmaking, you consider yourself a writer, and through writing, is there anything you're doing with writing in the future that spurs your interest further?
So I wrote a book.
Okay.
I finished my first book.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much, because I'm like, I never knew if I could do it.
That's amazing.
I tried to write a book. I started writing screenplays when I was 10, right? So when I was a kid, I kind of felt like, all right, well, I wrote a couple screenplays. Let me write a book.
Yeah.
Did not work.
Oh, no.
And I think because when I was a kid, I didn't know I could write about things other than like a fictional story.
Okay.
And I would try to write a book of fiction, and it just never got completed. And I couldn't understand that. I'm like, why can't I finish a screenplay, but I can't finish a book? And I wrote my first book, which is a screenwriting book.
Okay.
It teaches you how to write a screenplay, but it also focuses on spirituality, which is, my passions are like filmmaking, spirituality, and that's it.
So the book's about spirituality and screenwriting.
Yeah, I don't want to really go into too much detail because the book hasn't been published yet.
Right. So if they wanna find out more, they can always follow you online.
Yeah, follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. I'm at Joy Cheriel.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I know you wanted to say this later, but
no. We can do this anytime.
Yeah. So I'm at Twitter at Joy Cheriel. I'm on Instagram at Joy Cheriel. I have Facebook pages for my production company, Third Person Omniscient Productions.
Okay.
That's also where you can join my mailing list. That would be a good way to keep up with what I have going on as well.
Perfect. And that's thirdpartyomniscient.com.
Third person?
Third person.
Omniscient.
I'm going to get these right sooner or later.
So third person omniscient is a literary term.
Okay.
It's a narrative point of view.
Got it.
So you have first person, third person, and you have third person omniscient.
Okay.
And third person omniscient is the writing point of view where the narrator knows what all the characters are thinking, not just the main character.
Very cool.
So I named my production company Third Person Omniscient Productions because I felt like as a screenwriter, you have a big overview of life.
Okay.
And when I feel like you're writing a screenplay, you're trying to communicate something very specific about how you see life. And you have that third person omniscient point of view.
That's awesome.
So I named my production company after a literary term because, like I said, first and foremost, I'm a writer.
Okay.
So
yeah, wonderful. I love it.
So yeah.
So to join the mailing list, go to
Third Person Omniscient Productions.
Got it. So
which makes the name even longer. Sorry,
even
guys.
longer.
Right?
All right. So if you have the time to type it into the computer,
yes, right.
If you got a few hours to spend on the keyboard,
right.
Go to thirdpersonomniscientproductions.com.
Yes. And my short film NOS, which I mentioned,
and then stretch out your fingers after typing.
Right. And my short film NOS that I mentioned earlier, it took us 5 years. So I think you were asking about that at one point. It took from the time that I got the script, I did a few rewrites first.
Wow.
That's the first thing I did because the way it was when I was in college. So let me tell you what the short is about.
Okay.
So I have schizoaffective disorder.
Okay.
Bipolar type.
Got it.
Okay. So and people who are like, what is that? So schizoaffective disorder is kind of like schizophrenia.
Okay.
It's kind of like schizophrenia. But I feel like when you have schizophrenia, it's like a daily challenge, it's something you deal with daily. And for schizoaffective disorder, I have an episode.
Interesting.
And so with an episode, I'll be totally out of touch with reality.
Okay.
But I know when they're coming, which is very, I think it's strange. It's I know it's coming and I can tell when I'm in one.
Okay.
So I take myself to the hospital,
Whoa.
yeah. So the short film that I wrote.
That almost feels like a lucid dream of sorts.
Yeah, so when I had my first episode, which is what the short is about.
Whoa.
By the way, the short is about my first episode with schizoaffective disorder. and it's about my first hospitalization, and I was in the hospital. I didn't know why I was there, because at that point I didn't realize I was out of touch with reality.
Whoa.
I didn't know why I was there, and I was in this hospital. I'm having to figure out, like, how do I get out of here?
Yeah.
So that's what I made the short about.
Oh my gosh.
NOS. That's what that's about. It's a fictionalization of that experience.
That is so cool.
So in 2012, when I found the script, when I found the script, I was like, I have more insights into what caused the episode. In 2012, I had more insights than I had in 2004.
Yeah.
Which is when I wrote the first draft of that script.
Okay.
So it was like, because our thesis had to be 10 minutes.
Okay.
10 minutes wasn't enough time for me to tell my story.
Yeah.
So I wrote a couple of versions of the script, and I eventually settled on like 20 minutes because I wanted to be like 20 minutes long.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And it got done. I got the money for it in 2016, and we shot it in 2017 because I wanted it to be a certain time of year. And by the time I got okayed for the money in 2016, it wasn't enough time to get it done in that time period. And anyway, so my film, the short film, got acquired by a sales and acquisitions company over the summer.
That's awesome. Congrats.
Thank you. And right now, I don't really know where they're going to distribute it. Okay. But again, if you join my mailing list, then I can reach out to you and let you know.
thirdpersonomniscientproductions.com.
Yes, I can let you know when these things are coming out, because I have like all the stuff in the works.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
can't keep up with it sometimes.
You were asking me about my writing, so the next thing, I'm producing my first feature film.
Whoa.
Yeah, like I'm super excited.
That's amazing.
I just chose a lawyer.
Wow.
Because I'm going to be working with investors for the first time, and I found a lawyer who's amazing. Like he, my other lawyer, who I also found through Women in Feminine Video. Whoa. Like she recommended him. And he has written some filmmaking books, like some like finance books for filmmakers. And I'm like, the thing I like about him is that he breaks it down for me. Like he explains to me what's going on, and that's for me, for being the first time that I'm using investors. Of course, I want to understand the process because I plan to be doing this over and over and over again. So I'm glad I was able to find somebody who breaks it down for me and like explains it to me, because he does seminars all over the country and stuff. And so
that's awesome. Well, congratulations on all the success so far.
Thank you.
I'm excited to see the short film, hopefully soon.
Yeah. I'm
excited to read the book, hopefully soon.
Yeah.
And I'm just excited to see what you do with your success and how you keep the snowball going.
Yeah, I want this to be an area where people feel like I can live in DC and possibly work on one of Joy's projects. You know, like that's, I don't know, that's my dream. Like I want to like be able to provide jobs for people who work in the industry. I don't want people to feel like they have to go to Georgia, or they have to go to New York, or they have to go to LA.
Right.
You know, you can be here, and I'm hoping that we'll have a community with enough work. You know, like I'm working towards being able to pay people union rates and guild rates.
Wow.
I'm working towards that.
Okay.
I don't know if my next project is going to be able to accomplish that, but that's the goal.
Okay.
Like I want to be able to pay everybody. That's like on my vision board.
Look for my business card.
Yeah, like on my vision board, I have the word payroll.
Oh wow.
On my vision board, because that's the
awesome.
ultimate goal, is to be able to pay everybody working on one of my projects, and I haven't been able to do that yet. And I'm, that's my goal. I haven't been able to pay everybody on a project yet. And as a producer, that's my number one. That's my number one intent, is to pay everybody.
Yeah. Well, I believe in you.
Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to hopefully collaborating with you.
Yes, it would be so cool to work on something like this is my vision for the next 5 years, right? Okay. So I feel like at some point I'm going to have more than one TV series going on at a time, and also in the same year producing a movie, and because of that, like I'm not, like, networking is not my favorite thing. Yeah. Like I have people who work in on my team that are good with going out and networking, and I just feel like, oh well, they can go out and meet people, and like if it's somebody I need to know, they'll introduce me. But then I'm like, you know what? I've been given guidance that I have to go out myself and network, and I'm like, I'd rather just be sitting at home reading or preparing for a script. Like that's what I really want to do. But it's part of the business. You just gotta,
popular phrase,
because like
when you want something done right, you gotta do it yourself.
And filmmaking is relationships.
Yeah.
Filmmaking is about relationships.
Friendships, relationships.
Yep. Like when I went to college, in my head, when I was in college, I was like, I will meet the people that I will work with for the rest of my life. That's what I thought when I was in college.
Okay.
You know, like I knew that was part of the experience, was meeting other filmmakers.
Right.
You know.
Mm-hmm. Well, Joy, thank you so much for joining me.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you coming here and spending some time with me.
No problem. You're fun people.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to episode 2.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Thank you so much.
Peace out.
Watching The Wink. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell icon for new notifications. Doodle doodle. Wow, ew. I'm just kidding.